Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the Sorting Hat, Harry Potter, Voldemort and Horcruxes. More specifically, we're going to be discussing whether or not, during the sorting ceremony, the Sorting Hat detected the piece of Voldemort's soul inside of Harry. The sorting ceremony is a rite of passage at Hogwarts School, a tradition that has existed nearly since the school's inception. The purpose of the ceremony is simple: assign students to one of the 4 Hogwarts houses. In order to do this, a magical sentient hat called the Sorting Hat is used, a hat that once belonged to Hogwarts founder Godric Gryffindor. The Sorting Hat, when created, was instructed to sort students by how closely they resembled one of the 4 founders, and because of the powerful magic used to create the hat, it possesses the ability to navigate the layers of the wearer's mind, seeing things that even they themselves may not know. To perform its task of sorting students, the hat uses a magical ability known as legilimency, which is the art of magically navigating through a person's mind. Someone who is proficient at practicing legilimency is referred to as a legilimens, which is essentially what the hat is, a master legilimens. But my question is, if the hat is so knowledgeable and so good at unraveling the layers of someone's mind, then did the Sorting Hat know that a piece of Voldemort lived inside of Harry? When Harry was first sorted, the hat was conflicted. It wasn't sure where to put Harry. It wasn't quite a hat stall, meaning the hat requires more than 5 minutes to decide, but it was close, and it really didn't know where to put him, Gryffindor or Slytherin. Said a small voice in his ear. Difficult, very difficult. Plenty of courage, I see. Not a bad mind either. There's talent, my goodness, yes. And a nice thirst to prove yourself. Now that's interesting. So where shall I put you? Harry ends up in Gryffindor, but he was very close to ending up in Slytherin. I can't help but wonder, was Harry only nearly put in Slytherin because of what the hat detected in Voldemort's soul fragment, or did he possess Slytherin-esque qualities in his own right? One important thing to mention is that Harry isn't actually a proper Horcrux. I've explained this in previous videos, but essentially, he's not a Horcrux because Voldemort's soul shard didn't enter Harry via the traditional Horcrux creation process. This is explained by J.K. Rowling. Here's the thing, for convenience, I had Dumbledore say to Harry, "You were the Horcrux he never meant to make." But I think, by definition, a Horcrux has to be made intentionally. So because Voldemort never went through the grotesque process that I imagine creates a Horcrux with Harry, it was just that he had destabilized his soul so much that it split when he was hit by the backfiring curse. And so this part of it flies off and attaches to the only living thing in the room. A part of it flees in the very close to death limbo state that Voldemort then goes and exists in. I suppose it's very close to being a Horcrux, but Harry did not become an evil object. He didn't have curses upon him that the other Horcruxes had. He himself was not contaminated by carrying this bit of parasitic soul. I feel the need to make this distinction because whether or not Harry is a full-blown Horcrux would certainly have some sort of bearing on how the hat analyzes his mind. Horcruxes are inherently dark receptacles, and Harry, though he bore Voldemort's soul, did not possess these same dark properties. Furthermore, according to Rowling, the Sorting Hat did detect the pieces of Voldemort's soul when analyzing Harry's mind. I always imagine that the Sorting Hat detected the presence of that piece of soul when Harry first tried it on, because it strongly tempted to put him in Slytherin. So that's how I see it. However, the hat primarily detects thoughts and feelings. At this stage, Harry didn't even know that a piece of Voldemort lived inside of him, so it's hard to imagine that possessing Voldemort's soul would have had too much influence on the hat's decision. I imagine that if Harry was a full Horcrux, then it would have been a different story. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.